Welcome to session 4. As you can see on screen, there's a prompt, signal and noise. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, let's look at the schedule. We have 27 days minus the finals. It'll be more like 25 and a half days to work on this session. And it's the most we've had so far. So we start on the 20th of January and we go to the 27th of February. Then the following week, we present to the advisory. So let's take a look. The prompt is signal and noise. Signal, what actually matters, what's real, what carries meaning. Noise, distraction, distortion, amplification, static, interference. So we'll go further into detail, but I've created a document for you to take a look at, examples, hooks, things that you can think about on how to interpret the prompt. And for this session, I want teams to really address the prompt. It needs to be specifically a big part of your project. It's 25% of the score of the final project. So there you go. Lots of good details there. One other thing, the syllabus, it doesn't matter which class, they all have the same material that you will not get credit for material that is not turned in on time. If you don't like the score, you can modify it within 5 days of the due date, okay? I've been saying this, but I just want to make sure it's really clear. You don't have an extended amount of time. So if it's 5 class days past the date and you now come to me and say, hey, I'd like to fix this, it's too late, okay? We have too many points, too many things going on. So just be aware of that. A link to the syllabus is in Schoology in the resources folder. So if you ever want to go in here and take a look and see what's going on, that's always there. Next, the assignments for this session are in a document at the top of the session folder. It looks like this, and it basically goes in order of what assignments are happening when. This document looks pretty crazy when you look at it this way, but I'm showing you this because we're going to go over here and you can see the assignments line up over here in Schoology. You're familiar with that. If you look inside the session folder, you will see the same assignments. The document I was just showing you is right here. So you can go through step by step and look at the dates and see when things are going to be due for the session. Now, session 4 continues on into second semester. You'll see that these dates are part of second semester. So February is second semester. But if you want to see when things are going to be due for the next month or so, it's all in this document. So let's go back, and our sessions are fairly similar with the assignments we do, the process we go through, and I want to make sure you're clear on that. So let's go over here and take a look at the project tracking sheet. So you'll be assigned a leadership role on your team, and we'll talk about making sure you have a role in the class because the class was going to run much better if everybody's doing something to make the class a better place. We will do the career exploration process again, and you'll notice that the dates are up at the top here. We will then go through and do U-Science. Last time we did a pre-test. Some people did a full test, but this is certifications. And so when you click on here, there's a number of certifications you can pursue. There's more than just this drop-down list. We're going to spend the 22nd working on that. You're going to pitch on Friday of the first week. As a team, what do you want to do for your film, game, or song? The prompt, signal, noise, that document I showed you is linked here, so you can go into detail with that. Each class has different limitations set upon them, and we'll look at that in more detail. The team form is a half sheet for your team to plan out who's doing what, and we're going to be more specific with who takes on responsibility for getting the pre-production material done, and we'll talk about that later. Setting your goal, just to be clear, your SMART goal needs to be the thing that you demonstrate clearly at the end of the session. Some people, I think, are not quite clear on that, but you need to find somebody who's really good at your job, find a resource that explains why they're good at their job, and then find a goal resource to help you with the specific goal you want to accomplish. All of this should tie in together. So Roger Deakins is a really good cinematographer. Here's an interview with him about how he does what he does. And here's a tutorial on how to do film lighting more effectively. And it could be about Roger Deakins. It could be from somebody else. But the idea is lighting is an incredibly important part in filmmaking. So depending on the class, you need to do that, whether it's game design and level design, or in School of Rock, if it's a particular song construction, instrument process, tone, whatever, okay? Each class has a slightly different version of this. In film, it's a log line and other documents that need to be done in pre-production. game design and rock have different documents that need to be done in pre-production. Notice the date here. That'll be at the end of not the first week, but the second week of class. All this stuff needs to be done. I want people on the teams to take control of each one of these things and do something. So the screenwriter, for instance, will do the script. Somebody else will do the plot story. Somebody will do the storyboard in my film example here. When we get over to Scrum, we're going to be doing a Scrum for production. It's going to start on February 2nd. It's going to go for 15 class days. We'll use the Trello board. We're going to have more fidelity with that. What that means is that there'll be a stand-up meeting every day. You'll update your burn down chart, move the tasks in Trello from doing to done. We're going to be much more careful with this because it will help us with bigger projects. And when we have more time and more complexity, we need to be better organized. So session 3 was a good warm up. Session 4, we're going to get much better at this. You'll be doing 2 weekly journals from February 2nd to the 6th for week 4, week 3, and then February 9th to the 13th. You've done this before, weekly journal, do your daily updates, and hand in a half sheet at the end of the week. Then at the end of it, you're going to make a slideshow. You'll have the final project, whether it's a game, film, or a song. You'll link it into the big spreadsheet. You will prepare your presentation. We'll rehearse it. We'll practice it. And then you pitch to the advisory committee. And then we do postmortem, reflection with the surveys, and the post-production blog post. So that is session 4. And again, you can look at the schedule. You can see when things are. You should feel the rhythm right now in the class, how things work. Look at the grade book. I think we're pretty dialed in, and I'm really excited to see what you make.